There it is. Got all the fuel lines ran. I got to soak the chain and get some master links. Other than that, just got to hook it up, hook up some electrical, and we'll fire it up, see if she runs and throttles up. Keep your fingers crossed. Well, I got the linkage all set up on the carburetor. Had to bend it around, and I got my springs set up. There's my vent that I made for the fuel pump that's back there. And then I made a bracket to mount my oil pump, or my oil catch can, excuse me. I cleaned out the carburetor and I cleaned out the fuel tank. And I also added a fuel filter. But I did notice while it was sitting here that I have an oil leak from the old oil sensor here. Wiped it a couple times and it's definitely leaking, so I made a new gasket to change that, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to switch from copper to the old cork gasket. So let's get to it. Looks like it needs a little trimming, bigger diameter. Alright, so I got the new gasket on there. Hopefully that one doesn't leak. So I hooked up the battery, hooked up the starter. I don't see any more leaks on my oil sensing pump anymore. Hooked up my electrical, which is this wire over here, just grounds it. It goes back to the key switch over there on the dashboard. Just got to go get some fuel, and then we're ready to fire it up. See how she runs. Hopefully, smoothly. I got the spark plug disconnected, but we're going to see if this thing will turn over. Success. Let's go get some fuel. Okay, so there was a problem. This carburetor, I had cleaned it out and I checked it and everything appeared to be good, but it had a leak. This Nicky Carb, right here, there's an O-ring and it fits in that hole right there. It was completely flattened and leaking. This isn't really the ideal carburetor that I wanted to use anyway. It's just something that I had laying around, and since it's worn out, I don't think I want to invest any more time and effort into something. You can see in the previous video it was shooting fuel out of the throat of the carb, and I'm pretty sure that's because it had an internal leak. It was just leaking into the bowl and flooding it. So I'm going to change the carburetor, which means I'm going to have to modify this intake or make something else. So let me get to that, and when I come back I'll show you what I'm talking about. My buddy had this carburetor on one of his dirt bikes that he's not going to use anymore, and he let me get, so I think I'm going to modify this so it'll fit on the intake pipe. For an intake pipe, so I don't have to modify the original anymore that I already have, I found this Briggs and Stratton exhaust pipe that I think I can cut and use this flange. So I'll marry the two intakes together, and then I'll make a mating surface and marry this carburetor with a rubber hose to this pipe. So let's get to it. All right, well, I cut up that exhaust pipe. I had to notch that because it didn't fit perfectly. Welded it on there. It's kind of crude, but should do the job. And that's going to bolt to here. And then I got some hardware and some nuts, and hopefully I could still hold my oil catch can. So I'm going to mock that up and try to put the carburetor on and see what we got. And I'll probably have to come up with some support or shorten it a little bit, but that's pretty much it. I think I'll do that, and then I'll have to figure out how to run this cable right here to my pedal. That is already ran over there, but hey, it's part of fabrication. We'll figure it out. And then we can start it up and see if it runs. All right, well, I was able to get the engine running and then getting full throttle, and I stopped that fuel leak. This right here is temporary. I tried to make a throttle cable for this, but it was too short. I ended up wasting about 3 or 4 hours, so I was running it with this, and I was just pulling on this to operate the slide. Yeah, that pretty much completes the video. I'm just waiting for that cable to come in. My master links came in, and this thing's almost ready to ride. I know I keep saying that, but it's getting real close this time. It's charging, it's starting, it's idling, and it's wide open throttle. So a few more things to do while I wait for that cable, but thanks for watching.